Back in 2010, Valve announced that they were doing a collaborative contest with TF2maps.net. TF2maps.net have done many contests for mapping both previously and following, but this was the first time they worked directly with Valve to get a map in the game, and it came about due to some situations that are only really born out of a company that has absolutely no oversight. So here's what happened. In 2009, Valve started development on a capture point map that was then titled Capture Point Caves. It took place in a massive underground cave system that the Man Company built some internal structures within, and was also one of those few raining maps. The map looked pretty great and was testing very well. However, something happens, and instead of releasing as its own official version of Caves that Valve had been developing for quite a while, going so far as to develop entirely new texture sets for it, and working very diligently on a cave system displacement so that it looked more realistic and not just straight walls, it was all scrapped in favor of this contest, and a gray boxed version of Caves was sent out to the public and allowed anybody to art pass it the way they felt. Two winners were picked, Man Manor and Mountain Lab. Those maps have been in the game ever since. But now that we've gotten a look at all of the Team Fortress 2 map sources that sat on the development repository, we still have Caves, and there are a lot of questions that need to be asked. Before we ask those questions, it should be stated that when announcing this art passing contest, a small comic was also shipped alongside, detailing an anxiety-ridden and former Valve employee Corey Peters attempting to tell Robin Walker that the map that they were planning for a future update had disappeared. Robin Walker, or at least cartoon comic version Robin Walker, said, "That's fine, we'll just host a contest instead." That is a great joke, a great way of setting up this contest that Valve is doing out of the goodness of their hearts, right? No, that's exactly what happened. Whomever was working on this map, or at least art passing this map, deleted the majority of the work, deleted the majority of the displacement work, the really difficult work that had been done on art passing within this game. And instead of going back and fixing it, or trying to find the original map source and recompiling it, Valve found that all of the work, all of the hardcore art passing work that had been done on this map was just gone. Not archived, not backed up, gone. So what they had to do was take an earlier, previously not as art-passed version of the map and decompile it. They didn't have the sources anywhere. So they have this decompiled version of the map sitting in the repository to this day. Evidence that more work on displacements and art passing being redone exists on a version of the map that is just C, with really well done art passing. But it's obvious that at this point, Valve figured they should cut their losses and start this contest. So that means that due to Valve's lack of oversight, due to Valve's lack of managers or any kind of employee titles, large fuck-ups like this can happen and do all the time. Valve lost months of work on this crazy complicated new map for Team Fortress 2. Instead of trying to fix it themselves, they gray-boxed the oldest version of the map, gave it out to the community, and told them, "Fuck that, you do it." And it went really well. But it's hilarious to know that because of Valve's very unique structure, things can be lost. Things can just get deleted. And without any kind of oversight or backups, that stuff is just gone. And that's what happens to Mountain Lab. That's what happens to Man Manor. This was a map Valve intended on creating themselves. It's so stupid, but that's the reality of working at Valve Software. They can accidentally just straight up delete everything by accident, and have. Did you know that the version control server that they were using for Half-Life 1 exploded, and they lost almost all of their development assets up until that point? Fortunately, the good end of the story is that due to work from home, Valve had to get used to working with Slack, and now there's oversight, now there's backups, now there are redundancies. So this might not happen as much, but I'm sure that if we study hard on all of these leaks, we're gonna find many examples of them having to cancel projects because an employee accidentally deleted all the files. I'm still data mining everything. I am going through every single file individually, and anything that stands out, I take pictures, videos, and notes on. and I am working my ass off to try and find all of the cool little bits of information that I can. And we're also working on fixing up all of the unreleased Team Fortress 2 maps and putting them up on a server for a limited time for people to enjoy and play. So if you want to follow all of this work, get subscribed, check out my Twitter, check out my Discord, or support me on Patreon or Floatplane. There's still way too much work for me to do, so I'm gonna cut it short. Thanks for watching. I'm Tyler McVicker, the Passionate Gamer, aka the Beta Boy, and I'll talk to you later. Adios.